Throughout history, Friday the 13th has gained a reputation as an anonymous day, steeped in superstition and linked to misfortune, whether rooted in ancient beliefs or amplified by historical events. The fear surrounding this date has sparked countless stories of bad luck and eerie coincidences. From medieval tragedies like the downfall of the Knights Templar in 1307, to more modern events such as plane crashes, lightning strikes, and bizarre personal mishaps, Friday the 13th has become synonymous with disaster in the minds of many. Some, like Bob Renphrey, even go as far as to alter their lives to avoid the day's supposed curse, opting to stay in bed after repeated brushes with bad luck. Across different cultures, superstitions linked to certain days and numbers persist, weaving a fascinating narrative of human anxiety, mystery, and survival. Whether mere coincidences or something more, the stories tied to Friday the 13th continue to captivate and terrify in equal measure. On Friday, October 13th, 1307, a significant and dark chapter in history unfolded. Under orders from King Philip of France, thousands of Knights Templar were arrested across the country in a massive and coordinated operation. The Templars, a powerful and wealthy military order, were accused of heresy, blasphemy, and other serious crimes. Many were subjected to brutal torture to extract confessions, often for crimes that they had not committed. These arrests marked the beginning of the downfall of the Templars, eventually leading to the dissolution of the order. This historical event has intrigued scholars and the general public alike, with some speculating that it could be the origin of the superstition surrounding Friday the 13th. While there's no definitive evidence linking the Templars' arrest to the widespread belief that Friday the 13th is an unlucky day, the connection remains a point of fascination. The mystery surrounding the Templars, their abrupt fall from power, and the significance of that particular Friday the 13th has led many to wonder if it contributed to the mythology of the date being associated with misfortune. Whether fact or folklore, it's a captivating piece of historical trivia. On Friday, November 13th, 1829, a crowd of approximately 10,000 people gathered along the banks of New York's Genesee River to witness a daring and dangerous spectacle. Sam Patch, a famous American daredevil known for high-risk jumps, was preparing to leap from the top of the Genesee Falls, a 125-foot drop into the turbulent waters below. Just a few weeks prior, Patch had gained national fame for successfully jumping off the towering cliffs of Niagara Falls, plummeting into the Niagara River, a feat that had astounded onlookers and cemented his reputation as a fearless stuntman. The jump from Niagara Falls had earned Patch a place in history, particularly because he had survived a plunge many considered impossible. Notably, Niagara Falls, with its immense power and dangerous currents, also had a massive tunnel beneath it, adding an extra layer of danger to Patch's jump. The successful completion of the leap only fueled his desire to attempt even more audacious feats. However, on this fateful Friday, his luck ran out. As the crowd watched in anticipation, Patch jumped from the Genesee Falls, but something went tragically wrong. Instead of emerging from the waters as he had done so many times before, Patch disappeared beneath the churning river, never to surface alive. His body was discovered months later downstream. The incident marked the end of Sam Patch's brief but thrilling career as America's first celebrity daredevil, a man whose reckless courage captivated audiences, but ultimately led to his untimely death. The phrase, "some things can be done as well as others," Patch's personal motto, would forever be associated with both his incredible achievements and his tragic demise. On Friday, October 13th, 1972, a tragic and harrowing event unfolded high in the Andes Mountains. Uruguayan Air Force Flight 571, carrying 45 passengers, including members of a Uruguayan rugby team, crashed into the remote, snow-covered peaks of the Andes whilst en route from Montevideo to Santiago, Chile. 12 passengers were killed instantly upon impact, whilst others were left gravely injured and stranded in one of the harshest environments on Earth, miles from any hope of immediate rescue. For the survivors, the situation quickly became a fight for survival. Over the following days, they faced extreme cold, hunger, and dwindling hope. Efforts to locate the wreckage initially failed, and rescue operations were called off after 8 days, leaving the group stranded in the mountains with limited supplies. As the days stretched into weeks, the survivors were forced to confront an unimaginable decision. With no food left and no way to sustain themselves, they made the difficult and agonizing choice to resort to cannibalism, eating the bodies of their deceased friends in order to survive. This gruesome act, though a desperate measure to stave off starvation, has since become a defining element of the story, adding a layer of macabre fascination to an already tragic event. After enduring more than 2 months in the freezing wilderness, 16 of the original 45 passengers were eventually rescued, thanks to the effort of 2 survivors who embarked on a perilous trek to find help. Their story of survival against all odds was later immortalized in a book, Alive, and a film adaptation of the same name, cementing the crash as one of the most infamous and haunting survival stories in modern history. The fact that this horrific event took place on Friday the 13th, a date long associated with bad luck and superstition, only adds to the eerie sense of misfortune surrounding this tragedy. While the idea of Friday the 13th brings bad luck in largely rooted myth, the events of this day, in 1972, certainly gave many people reason to believe otherwise. That same day, on Friday, October the 13th, 1972, tragedy struck in Russia as well. A Russian airliner, Ilyushin Il-62, was attempting to land near Moscow when disaster unfolded. The aircraft, arriving from Paris, encountered mechanical issues and crashed during its final descent. All 174 people on board, including passengers and crew, were deceased at the crash, making it one of the deadliest aviation accidents in Soviet history. The plane was destroyed on impact, with investigations later suggesting a combination of engine failure and pilot error as contributing factors. While Friday the 13th is often seen as a day of bad luck in Western superstition, many cultures around the world have their own unlucky days. For example, in Spanish-speaking countries, Tuesday the 13th is considered a day to avoid major decisions, travel, or other risky activities, as Tuesday is linked to Mars, the god of war and misfortune. Similarly, in Italy, Friday the 17th is regarded as an ominous day, with the number 17 being associated with death and bad luck in Italian folklore. Across the globe, different cultures have their own interpretations of unlucky dates and superstitions, often rooted in history, numerology, or religion. While the specific significance of Friday the 13th may vary, tragic events like these continue to fuel the belief that certain days carry an air of misfortune. On Friday, August 13th, 2010, an eerie coincidence unfolded in Suffolk, England, that captured the attention of many due to its striking alignment with the number 13. A 13-year-old boy was struck by lightning while attending an outdoor event during a stormy afternoon. The bolt of lightning reportedly hit him at precisely 1:13 p.m, or 13:13 in military time, amplifying the superstition surrounding the number 13. Despite the potentially deadly nature of the accident, the boy miraculously survived without any serious injuries. Paramedics on the scene quickly attended to him, and although he was left with a minor burn where the lightning entered his body, he was otherwise unharmed. His survival under such circumstances added a layer of fascination to the story, making it one of those rare instances where a potentially tragic event ended on a surprisingly fortunate note. The convergence of the date, Friday the 13th, the boy's age, and the exact time of the lightning strike led many to ponder the significance of such coincidences. While some dismissed it as pure chance, others saw it as a curious reminder of the superstitions surrounding Friday the 13th. On Friday, July the 13th, 1979, Bob Renphrey, a man from North Wales, made a drastic decision after years of suffering what he believed was an unusual amount of bad luck on Friday the 13th. Renphrey had experienced a series of unfortunate events on multiple Friday the 13th that convinced him the day was cursed for him. Among these misfortunes, he once accidentally walked through a plate glass door, seriously injuring himself. On another occasion, he was fired from his job on this supposedly unlucky day. Perhaps the most bizarre incident occurred when Renphrey, in an attempt to throw a stick for his dog, unintentionally hit his wife in the head, causing her to be hospitalized. As if that wasn't enough, yet another Friday the 13th saw his wife tumble down a flight of stairs, further fueling his belief that the day carried bad omens for him. After enduring one too many of these Friday the 13th mishaps, Renphrey resolved to take no more chances. From that point onwards, he decided that the safest course of action was to stay in bed every Friday the 13th to avoid further accidents. This ritual became his personal defense against the bad luck he felt was tied to this day. Renphrey's story, while unusual, highlights the powerful influence that superstitions can have on people's lives. For him, the date was more than just a myth. It represented a pattern of real, tangible misfortune. His decision to remain in bed on these days illustrates the lengths some are willing to go to protect themselves from perceived unlucky forces. Whether rooted in superstition, coincidence, or real-life misfortune, Friday the 13th continues to spark curiosity and caution in people across the world. From tragic tales of tragic accidents to stories of miraculous survival, the day has earned its reputation as one shrouded in mystery. As you've seen, history and folklore have plenty of chilling examples to fuel the belief in its unlucky power. If you've enjoyed exploring these strange and fascinating stories, be sure to like, share, and subscribe to stay updated on more intriguing content about histories, myths, and all things mysterious. So no matter what day it is, you don't have to be afraid of what's behind you.